No.
Go ahead.
Okay. You started already. Okay. I want to welcome everybody back. It's been a few weeks since we were able to get here, to be here, broadcasting, I guess, in a way, to Facebook. But thanks for joining us. And I think this is week 6, but episode 4 of being here in Happy State Bank as they are sponsoring this. Coach's Corner. I'm Troy Albers. I'm the preacher at the Church of Christ, and I appreciate being asked to do this by the school district. This is a time, and I've said this before, but this is a time when we get to sit down with and have conversations with the head coach of the Bobcats, Coach Boatman. And each week I'll ask him questions about the game, like I have, the upcoming game, the last week's game, and then also some personal questions, not too personal, and we'll ask him some questions that we hope will be informational to you about him, because he's not just a coach, he's a person, right? Yeah, okay. So like I said, we're going to review last week's game and then this upcoming game, and then we have 2 athletes that we're going to introduce to you. Most of you, if you know anything about the football team and you know these people and you know the students and you know who they are. Good morning, because I haven't even,
Good morning.
he came in and we were rushing, I hadn't even said hi. Okay, well, yeah, good morning.
I was still American.
What? What'd you say? You were still American. Okay, so let's get started. I hope that's entertaining, as entertaining as it is to us all, I guess. Okay, last week's game, how'd you feel it went?
It was good. Great. We played some of our best football that we have all year long. Offensively, it felt like we got our feet under us.
Mm-hmm.
And we had more people on the same page than we have had.
Yeah.
And so it was as things should be.
Yeah.
And so we were excited to finally feel like, hey, we feel comfortable in our own skin.
Uh-huh. Yeah, everything clicked, and 54 to 15, is that right?
I think it was 18.
18, 54 to 18. Wow. So when it clicks, you dominate.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so some of the things besides coming together, and that's an awesome thing to see your team finally finally coming together and working as one machine. What are some other positives that you saw come out that maybe you hadn't seen before?
Oh, that's a hard question because I haven't seen just a lot of negatives.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen positives, all year long with our kids, but I think, they're a very together team.
Yeah.
But they played together, and we've been waiting to see that.
Uh-huh.
So that I think that was a long time, coming.
Yeah.
We've had guys each week that had to step up maybe into a role because someone else had to leave the role for whatever reason, and our expectation is that we're going to jump in there and do the job, and we do, but there's always a learning curve.
Sure.
And so it's felt like 2 forward and 1 back, 2 forward and 1 back, 2 forward and 1 back.
And running up a sand dune.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
My metaphor.
And then last week just felt finally like we can just go.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Tonight, Stratford, they're 5-1, I believe.
Yes.
When was the one?
They lost to Bushland.
Okay. All right. And now district play. It started. Excuse me. It started. What does that look like? To the audience who might not understand the district aspect of it, explain that, if you would.
Okay, so We tell the kids that we play 3 seasons every year. We have a pre-district season, we have a district season, and then we have a playoff season. So
Yeah.
for us, this is a new beginning.
Mm-hmm.
As of last week, our first district game.
Sure.
So looking at it in that respect, we're 1-0.
Yes.
And these are the games, all the games matter, but these are the games that matter the most because they determine who goes to the playoffs, they determine the seeding of the playoffs. And our last 3 games, bang, 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 are the very toughest in our schedule.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We're playing 3 top 10 teams back to back to back
Wow.
in our own district. And so, we're talking top 10 in the state of Texas. And so this is the preeminent district for football in the state of Texas. And that's exciting for us.
Yeah.
And in a sense, it's like the playoffs have begun. Every team that we will play from here on out is a playoff team, and we will have played our 3 toughest games before we even get to the playoffs.
Man. So how many teams are in the district? Because I don't know. Who, that you'll be playing and trying to make sure that you win so that you are in the playoffs. How many teams are?
We have 5.
Okay.
And of those 5, 4 will go.
Okay. Wow.
And so we have left, we have Stratford, and then we're on a bye the next week.
Then Groover.
And then we follow up with Groover and Vega.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, it's looking good. So far, you're 100% in the district. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. All right. That's a great way to look at it. Tonight, what do you see as some of the, what are some of the things that Wheeler seems to do well? Wheeler, Stratford. I'm back in the past. So Stratford. What do you?
Well, Stratford is big up front. I think their front is the strength of their team.
Yeah.
So they've been able to control the line of scrimmage and really establish the offensive and the defensive dominance because of their physicality up front. They have some experienced players, and they're technically sound, and they want to, against us, we're a unique team. In watching the film, the team that we've seen versus Stratford with the most similarity to us has been Bushland.
Okay.
The way they do things is very similar to the way that we try to do things. And so we've seen some things that we feel like are good, for us, that maybe are answers to some of what Stratford does and can do. But their front 5 is the big challenge for tonight.
Okay. All righty. So that's what they do well. What are some of their weaknesses?
Oh, it's hard to talk about weaknesses.
Sure.
For one, because I don't want to disparage any kids.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But I would talk more in terms maybe of our strengths.
Okay. Yeah.
We feel like we can get the ball to anybody. I think we threw the ball to 10 different kids the last couple of games. We ran the ball to about 5 different kids. And so we may not have a 100-yard rusher, but we'll have a handful of kids, who rush for the collective yardage, of our team. And then I feel like our strength is in how we can get people open, and in how we can trust them to catch the ball.
Y'all have an arsenal.
We can trust you, right, Jimmy?
Jimmy Dominguez we're getting ready to talk to him, and that's who Coach Boatman is talking to. Yeah. You've got some weapons.
We do.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great. So key players from Stratford, who would you say you're going to keep an eye on, really?
Okay.
Besides everyone. I know everyone, but.
Okay, well, they have they have a few defensive players who we feel are very good. Number 77, you'll see him rep in at nose guard and at defensive tackle.
Wow.
And he may move around depending on what we're doing
Mm-hmm.
to try to have the best answer for them.
Mhm.
I think he is their weapon up front. I think
Okay.
he sets the front for them. Also number 5,
Mm-hmm.
and he plays on the defensive line.
Yeah.
He's a tight end / defensive tackle,
Okay.
and he's a big, strong, physical, technical football player.
Uh-huh.
The two of them. And then in the back end, they have a player, number 2,
Mhm.
who's a talented coverage player, and he'll be as good as anyone that we've seen
Uh-huh.
so far in the defensive secondary.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
those are some key guys. Offensively, their quarterback is a great player. He makes things happen for them.
Yeah.
They want to get him the ball. I wouldn't say that he's their offense, but he does make them go. So having an answer for him is really key
Mhm.
for us tonight.
Wow. Okay. Last time we did talk about Jimmy, and so my question: Who would you say the player is, or the players are, who they display the most leadership for the team? Kind of get them going, get them fired up, and lead them. Who might you think of?
Well, I guess I would think of initially I would think of all of them because
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And then I would ask these guys, who do you think? Who is it, guys?
Probably David and Cutter.
I don't think those are bad choices.
Cutter
Cutter
Lust
Mhm.
and
And David Ortega.
okay.
And
So
they-
both.
they've
Yeah.
both
We've
been on the show.
interviewed both of them.
But I think you can. It's hard, especially if it's not who you are as a person.
Right.
It's hard to get outside your own skin
Mm-hmm.
and lead vocally.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes a team can struggle because they've got some guys who'll go out there and make plays, but maybe they don't have that center, that vocal
Right.
leader that everyone can rally around.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to have that guy.
Sure.
And sometimes you have to make that guy.
Uh-huh.
But we have goals every week for the kids, and we talk to them Saturday before they leave and go home. We pick out, okay, what's the thing this week that you're going to work on? What are the parameters? How will you know that you've met that goal?
Mhm.
And so yesterday in our team meeting, in reviewing the goals with the kids, hey, what did we meet? What did we not meet? Armando's goal was that he wanted to become a more vocal leader.
Yeah. That's
And
nice.
so intentionally, he set some parameters and said, okay, these are the things that I'm going to do in practice
Mhm.
this week to get to where I need to be. Hey, what a great goal for him.
Yes.
Because if you need someone for the team to rally around, who better than a position player like a quarterback?
Sure.
And so I think all the kids exhibit these qualities. But the best way to get the best answers is sometimes to ask the kids.
Okay. I'll forget to ask you. So Jimmy, you just chime in, Luis. Do you say Luis?
I said Lewis.
Lewis. I like that. Okay. Either way, heard it both ways. Okay. Let me ask you that. What makes for like you've kind of answered already, but what makes for a good team leader? What are the elements that someone might see? You said vocally, and then.
I think a good leader, first and foremost, he has to inspire you to action. He has to be able to build confidence in you.
Yeah.
Through what he says.
Uh-huh.
But then too, he has to be able to back it up by what he's
Sure.
doing, what he's able to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for a leader to inspire confidence in his team if he's not willing to do the hard things, or if he takes shortcuts.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to be a dominant player
Right.
to be this kind of a leader, but you do have to be a guy who is selfless.
Mm-hmm.
You do have to be a guy that makes the right choices in the tough moments,
Sure.
so that you can deserve the faith that your team's placing in you.
And I would think, it's just me thinking, to be an example of putting 110% in practice time or whatever he's doing, but also as a student, leading by example, which would bleed over into football, I would think, trying, but not, like you said, being perfect at everything. Just an example.
Okay, so a kid who's bad in the classroom, and we don't mean bad with grades necessarily. We mean bad with the wrong attitude in class.
Sure.
That kid can't be the leader that his team needs him to be, because it doesn't transcend the practice field or the arena for the game. You've got to be able to be the best leader. You've got to be able to live the things outside of this.
That's right. Yeah.
This specific location, this specific context. You've got to be able to live those things transcendently. And man, that could be why leadership is hard.
It's an overall example and an overall.
It is. We're talking about the best leaders. And we try to look at, and we're working currently with our leadership council with, okay, how do we want to, what are our standards for practice and game? What are our standards for our student life? And then what are our standards for our life outside of football and outside of school when we're just living? What standards are we going to hold ourselves to in those three areas?
Sure.
Because we want to make sure that we're meeting those things.
And my perception is it's not just the players, it'll also be the coaches living up to they want to lead, and so they have to have respect as well. And I think that comes from an all-around way of living and attitude. And I could see, I had the opportunity to go speak to the students, to the athletes, to the football team last Thursday, and I saw some really neat things. I saw them talk about the goals, like Coach Boatman said, but I also saw the players encouraging each other, and they picked a player. Each one picked a player that they wanted to encourage and acknowledge their hard work, and then each one would give that player a sticker that they would put on their helmet. That was so fun to watch, and so that was neat. I'd never heard of that. I'd never seen that, but that was fun because all the players noticed things about each other that stood out that they wanted to acknowledge to that student. That's pretty neat. And so that does bleed over. That example of noticing, like if I were a player that was getting stickers, I would think that's going to encourage me and motivate me to even work harder.
They want those stickers.
Yes.
They do.
Yeah.
And they'll get them. They'll get them for a few other things, but a lot of times stickers are, oh, you had 4 touchdowns, you get 4 stickers.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on besides those 4 touchdowns that you scored. Someone had to block for you. And everyone, I think, can understand how good it feels when someone acknowledges your hard work.
Yeah.
And sometimes how lonely it can feel when you're working so hard and no one acknowledges you.
So not just the students gave the stickers of acknowledgement, but the coaches as well. So that was fun to watch because it does matter about the players, your peers, but also from your leadership to let people know. The coaches know I'm watching you as well, and I've noticed these things, your improvement, your work ethic, how much you put into practice yesterday, because that was one of the things that the most common was Dominic. And he got so many stickers because of the way that he had practiced through the week, from what I understood. So that was really neat to see. Going to the personal questions, I want to ask them all. Not real personal. Last time we talked, you mentioned that you like to play guitar, which is really neat thing. But what kind of music do you play? And you said,
I just play what sounds good. I wouldn't say that I try to. I think when you start to learn guitar, you piddle around and you try to play some song that you've heard somewhere. And anymore, I just like to pick around and try to see what sounds good.
Yeah, and you compose. I mean, you write songs. You've said throughout the years.
I have done. I can't say that I do because it's been a while since I've done that.
Yeah.
But I'm working on a couple. When I have the time. So
Yeah, when you have the time.
yes.
And you don't have time right now.
No.
All right.
Not
Where
enough.
where did you learn to play?
I just decided I wanted to pick it up in high school. I was
Mhm.
probably a junior in high school, and I
Yeah.
thought, hey, I'd like to learn the guitar. It can't be that hard. And so
That's right. It can't be that hard. So everyone can play.
I got a little Squire Stratocaster
Oh yeah.
and got me a little amp and started trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And my hand didn't work very well at first.
Yes.
But I guess it's like, when my playing in those days resembled a baby just learning to feed itself with applesauce just
Yes.
in his eyebrows.
Yes.
That was the way that I played at first. And
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed that you're not the same on any guitar as you are on your own guitar.
That's true.
I'll pick up someone else's guitar and I won't be able to play it. I won't
Mhm.
feel comfortable. It's not right. It doesn't feel right. I think that's why Willie Nelson just decided.
He's that one guitar
You
with
play
the
that
hole
one.
in it. He's
Yeah.
gonna, yes. Yeah, he's going to. Okay. I'm not gonna ask about genre because it sounds like it's eclectic. All kinds of,
It's kind of eclectic, yeah. And I'd say it might be more folksy than anything.
yeah.
Yeah, but I really like Kenny Loggins. I'm a big fan of Kenny Loggins.
Yeah. Incredible.
Brett Dennen. He's a guy that's probably not as well known, but he's a right now guy.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Dan Fogelberg.
Oh my, yes.
I like Bread.
Yeah.
Sort of a little.
Okay, so you said this. I'm going on a tangent. You said Bread. I grew up with Bread, but there was only one album called The Best of Bread. Do you remember that?
They should call it Wonder Bread, but that was trademark.
Wonder
So
Bread.
it was
Yes,
The Best
that's
of
right. And then I'd never seen any other album that they, that would instigate having a best of. So I always thought that was interesting. But I loved Bread. I still like him. Besides football, your other favorite sports?
Baseball and football are really close.
Okay.
So that means softball and football are really close because I coach softball.
That's right.
now.
That's right. Now, do you watch baseball, like MLB?
Yes.
Okay, so you're watching the playoffs right now, or not? Yeah? Okay, so who would you like to see go against whom?
You know what?
I know who I would like on one side.
And I'll just leave it at this. I need to see the Rangers go against anybody.
That's right. That's right.
So it's fun to watch the teams that are playing. And
Sure.
October is always really exciting.
Yeah,
But I just need to see the Rangers back in there.
yeah, that's right. The Rangers. Yeah, I stayed up late last night watching the San Francisco LA game. So
It's hard for me to choose either of those guys.
right.
They've been there so often for one.
Yeah.
I don't. Sometimes I feel like I'm rooting against the attitude of a team because of the attitude of some of their players. But
Like who?
oh,
I know it's coming. But.
okay. So I wasn't a big Barry Bonds fan.
Oh, yeah.
When he was playing. I was a Will Clark fan, but I became less of a fan after learning more about him.
Yeah.
What's his name? Jock. Does he even play for them anymore? For the Dodgers?
I don't know.
Are you following it too?
No.
No. Okay.
But just I don't know, just
Yeah.
teams whose players exhibit or exude cockiness is just
Mm-hmm.
off-putting to me.
Yeah.
So, that to me, that's been San Francisco, and that's been LA.
Uh-huh.
Now, the Tommy Lasorda LA Dodgers, I don't think I'd root against those guys.
Mhm. And on the other side, the American, ADLS, well, anyway, like the Astros. I want to know about your take on the Astros.
You know, when I was young,
Uh-huh.
my favorite colors were orange and blue,
Yeah.
and I had a Houston Astros helmet,
Uh-huh.
but I don't remember. I like Nolan Ryan.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember being an Astros fan, but I
Okay.
always wondered why were my favorite colors orange and blue when I was a
Mhm.
kid? Did I love the Astros? And hey, they're from Texas, so
Yes.
I'm gonna try to promote them if I
Yeah.
can't promote the Rangers. But those guys cheated.
I know, but they did. They got caught, and that was disappointing. Highly disappointing. And now they're
Well, I get some people say if you ain't cheating, you're not trying.
yeah.
But
No, they.
I mean, yeah, there have to be standards, I guess.
Sure.
And what they did wasn't explicitly against any rule,
Yeah.
I guess.
Stealing signs, but the way that they
Yeah.
stole it was electronically.
And everyone steals signs,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes people will get hit by pitch for
Uh-huh.
the way that they communicate those signs.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that they steal them, but if you're going to steal them, you better be classy and clever about how you communicate those
Uh-huh.
things.
Sure.
If you don't want to have a bruise.
So tonight, I believe Astros and Boston. I believe so. Their playoff starts tonight. This next tier. So you said Texas. Any team from
Yes.
Texas?
Yes. And
I believe it's Boston.
if they're from Texas, like I said, I'm going to promote them.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
let's go Astros. I will say, I really like Jose Altuve. I like the way he
Yes.
plays.
Yes.
I think he's very impressive, just
Mhm.
what he's able to do, how powerful he is, how
Mhm.
compact he is for his size.
Sure.
He's a hard guy to root against.
And he seems very humble. He is not cocky.
No.
He's not cocky, but
So,
an incredible player.
Those type of guys, I can remember watching baseball when I was younger, and I loved Mark Lemke. He played second base for the Atlanta Braves,
Mhm.
and I think he was probably about the only player on that team who wasn't a big name,
Oh wow.
because they had some big
Yeah.
names. They had a great pitching staff,
Mhm.
and here's this guy who just goes out there and works and doesn't get talked about a lot,
Uh-huh.
but who made plays,
Sure.
nonetheless.
Yeah, well, good. All right, next week I'll have some more in-depth, not really, I won't, personal questions. Maybe I'll try to make you cry like Oprah. Not really,
Okay.
that's a joke. So
You bring an onion.
I'll bring the onion. And then we'll smell like that the rest of the day. So that's the interview's ending with Coach Boatman. Thank you so much for talking to us. Now we're going to go to the students, and we're going to start with Jimmy Dominguez, who is a senior. So Coach is going to get out of this chair. You're going to come into this chair. I didn't let. Did you see the questions beforehand?
No.
Oh man, okay. So you're going to be on the spot, but I don't think these questions are really going to stump you. But I forgot to tell you the rule. You can't say I don't know. So you'll have to, and I'll give you time to think of these things. But Jimmy Dominguez, we talked about him the last show, installment that we had, and he's, if you watch him play, if you've had an opportunity to watch him play, he does really well with what he's doing. And so if you haven't, come tonight and watch the game. Position.
Receiver slot.
Receiver slot. All right. What are some things that you love about being a Bobcat, Sunray, and
Well, it's not just the team. It's like the community. We all come together as a for the community. It's just like we're all family. We're always together. It's nothing bad about Sunray. Like people like hate on us and all that, but I can't see why you can hate on a community that
no?
loves each other.
That's right. And we moved here in May, and I've never seen so many Bobcat football shirts. When it's game day, you just go through the town and you see them everywhere. So you're right. This community, I think, stands out because this is a family. It seems like Sunray is a family, and they love y'all. The community loves y'all, and the rest of the Bobcats too. So you're right. That's a great thing about this, and I'm glad, and I'm thankful that y'all see that and feel that. I'm sure you feel that. So that's cool. 6 years from now, where do you see yourself?
I see myself graduating from college
Uh-huh.
and being an engineer.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, I'm planning to run track in college. I'm trying to go to Wayland, and after that, I'll graduate college, have a job,
Engineering.
engineering.
All right. That's highly impressive. When you were young, growing up, when you were growing up, what did you want to be? Because I don't think it was an engineer.
No, it's, okay. Well, I wanted to be a meteorologist. I don't know why, but
That is interesting.
I just like seeing cause we went to go to it was a meteorologist. I don't know what to call it, but we went to go to one of them, and we got to look at the screen.
Oh yeah, the
And
green screen.
There's
yeah.
a green screen, and you have to point at the board. And I thought it was pretty cool and all, but
Yeah.
I decided to change. I've changed a lot of times. I went from a meteorologist to a pilot to a engineer, and then I went back to a pilot and back to an engineer.
Uh-huh.
But I'm staying there.
Okay, when you were wanting to be a meteorologist, how old were you?
I was probably about 6.
Okay, so did you do reports?
Well, when the news was on, I would always try to get up there and just
That's
point.
right. That's right. Because that's what you're supposed to do when you want to be a meteorologist at 6. Yeah, I just pictured you doing that, and over here and up here we have a load. What other sports do you play? You mentioned track.
Yes, I also do track. I do basketball,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm planning to do baseball this last year for
Wow.
my senior year.
Cool. That's great. In your free time, what do you like to do?
I like to play basketball, play football with
Mhm.
friends, and I love to go fishing, hunting, and ride 4-wheelers.
Wow. Okay. You didn't mention video games,
Well,
which is good, kind of.
yeah.
So do you play video games?
I do, but not as much anymore.
Because what you said that you like to do just sounds like you wouldn't have time for that. Madden, do you play Madden?
I do.
Okay. But would you say that, and this is, again, my out-of-the-box thinking possibly, would you say, Coach and Jimmy and Lewis, Madden, because you have all those plays and you have to learn to read the plays and use those, would you think that might help in learning how to see?
I don't think that it does.
Coach said he does not think, well, they can hear him.
I don't think that it does.
Yeah.
But, I have no patience for those games.
Yeah.
To me, those games are, I'm just going to push a lot of buttons really fast. I
Well-
might get lucky here and there.
That's how I play Madden. Yes.
But you'd have to ask someone like Jimmy, who's more of an expert than
Okay.
I am.
That's great. That's great. Last question. How do you think your friends would describe you? It's a strange question, but
I think my friends would describe me as athletic. I wouldn't say smart, like out of school, I guess, but in school I'm smart and fast.
Okay.
And
Now, what qualities would they say that you have that make you a good friend? Don't say I don't know.
Trying to think of one.
But, okay, my
Oh, trust.
trust.
Trust
Nice,
me.
nice, nice, nice. Trust. And that is one of the most important qualities in being a friend. Okay, Jimmy, thanks so much. Enjoy
Thank
the time. We move on to, and have a great game tonight.
Thank you.
I know you all will. Lewis, Calderon.
Dude, all you use.
So, you're in 10th grade.
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, because that's great. What position do you play?
I play defensive line and offensive line.
Okay, and I asked Jimmy, what are some things that you like? I said something, but on my notes it's 3 things. So what do you love about being a Bobcat, being in Sunray at the school, but also playing?
I love just being around with my friends,
Mm-hmm.
being able to practice with them, spend time with them, and just get a bond stronger,
Yeah,
make a bond stronger.
nice.
I think our coaching staff is really like they're not like careless. They care about us. They
That's
try to
great.
do what's best for us.
That's great.
And yeah, I think that's what makes it special. And then I don't know, it's just it's a great community. Everybody comes out and supports,
Uh-huh.
and everybody's here for each other.
Did you grow up here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you grow up here, Jim?
Yes, sir.
That's all. That's great, and that's what you hear a lot of. Families staying and raising their kids. What other sports do you play?
I play football,
Mm-hmm.
basketball,
Okay.
and I might do track again, but I don't know yet.
And in track, what do you do?
Just throw.
Huh?
Throw.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's interesting. I always think that they should make them like a frisbee, and give you a longer field. That's if I were to do it, then I would run it. Something. What did you want to see be when you were growing up?
I always just wanted to go play football professionally.
Uh-huh.
Ever since a little kid, I always just
Oh, that's great.
loved the game.
Uh-huh. So 6 years from now, what do you see yourself doing? Where do you see yourself?
Hopefully, playing somewhere between D2, D1 football.
Uh-huh. And then, so you have to go to school for that. And what do you want to graduate with, and the areas that you want to focus on? Well, okay, how about this? What's your favorite subject in school?
Science.
Science. Okay. See, something in that, like a doctor, like a surgeon. No, I'm just putting ideas in your head. Your free time, what do you like to do?
I like to hang out with friends, watch movies,
Uh-huh.
and just cruise around town.
Now, when you cruise around the town, what's your goal there? Because I grew up in a small town, and we used to drag Maine. I don't know if that's a thing. So you'd go up and down and just wave at people. When you cruise around the town, what do you all do?
Just listening to music
Uh-huh.
and hanging out and talking to friends.
Yeah, all right. Okay. And then your friends, last question, how would your friends describe you? What qualities about you make you a good friend to them?
Maybe outgoing,
Uh-huh.
and maybe trustworthy too.
Good.
And what else?
Yes,
Sense of humor.
your sense of humor.
Funny.
What's your favorite joke? No, I'm putting you on the spot. Lewis, I enjoyed it very much. One of my favorite parts of these times is getting to know the athletes and listening to them talk about life and seeing their attitudes. And so far, I mean, it's just been a spectacular time with all the athletes that we've talked to. I'm looking forward to next week to meeting some more. Thanks for joining us. Thank you so much for the support that you give the team and the school. And make sure that you come out tonight if you can and watch the game. Bring a coat, blanket, whatever you need, and bring a supportive attitude, and I know you will. Have a great day, and thank you so much.